Hello students, welcome to your software engineering class. In the previous session, I have discussed about software design approach, how to convert the SRS document into design document. In that session, I have discussed about two approaches, function oriented approach and object oriented approach. And in function oriented approach, we consider software designing and software analysis. In software analysis, the software designer converts the SRS document into different functions, and the functions can be represented in a diagrammatical manner that is known as data flow diagram. In this session, I will explain about data flow diagram. What are the symbols used in DFD and how to decompose the function in DFD, how to balance a DFD. After completion of this video session, you will able to draw a DFD for a software system. So let's discuss. Contents of this videos is data flow diagram, symbol used for construction DFD, developing DFD, decomposition, data dictionary, balancing a DFD, numbering of bubbles. DFD. DFD is an elegant modeling technique useful not only to represent the result of structured analysis applicable to other area also. Example for showing the flow of document or item in an organization. Means it is the representation of structured analysis done by the software engineer from the SRS document. From the SRS document, the software analyst convert into structured analysis, and from the analysis he draw the DFD, data flow diagram, and it is not only the result of structure analysis but also it show the flow of document in an organization. DFD technique is very popular because it is simple to understand and use. DFD is very popular in the organization because it is very simple to use and understand. DFD is a hierarchical graphical model, shows the different functions or process of the system and data interchange among the process. Means DFD is a graphical model of the system. It shows the different functions of a system or different process of the system and the data that are coming to the functions and the output of the functions. So it shows the data interchange among different functions, what are the input data, what are the output data, that can be easily understand through DFD. DFD concept. It is useful to consider each function as a processing station. Each function consumes some input data and produce some output data. Means each function in a DFD is treated as a processing stations. Means each function is a processing station and it accepts some input data and after processing it gives some output data. Okay, this is the main concept of DFD. Then symbol used for constructing DFD. These are the primitive symbols. So first symbol is rectangle. The rectangle is used for external entity. Like student is an external entity. Member of a library, he is external entity. Then circle. Circle is a symbol of process. Okay, what are the different process? Like creating member, new member, that is a process that can be represented through a circle. Then data flow can be represented through arrow mark, and that two parallel lines that can be used to store the data, means the data stored in the database that can be shows in the parallel lines, and the last symbol that is used to show the output, and I will briefly explain each symbol detailedly. So the rectangle represent the external entity. So first is external entity symbol. The external entity symbol represent by a rectangle. External entity are real physical entity. Input data to the system or consume data produced by the system. Sometimes external entity are called terminator, source or sink. Means these are the word to represent the external entity. Actually, external entity are the real world entity or physical entity like librarian, member, student. These are the external entity. Input data to the system, the data which are given to the system, that are the external entity. Consume data produced by the system, the data that output from a system is also an external entity. Okay, and sometime it can be called as terminator, source or sink. So this is the symbol of external entity. Then function symbol. Okay, a function such as search book is represent using circle. This symbol is called a process or bubble or transform. Okay, all the function in DFD represent through circle. Every function is represent through functions. For example, searching of a book. Search book is a function and that can be represent through circle. Bubbles are annotated with corresponding function name. Function represents some activity. Function name should be verb. So all the activity of the system is a function and the function represent through circle. Okay. Then directed arc or line means the arrow mark. The arrow mark represent data flow in the direction of the arrow. Data flow symbols are annotated with names of data they carry. Means the function that accept data that can be displayed through this directed arc, and the data name will be written above the line. Okay, that represent the flow of the data into the system or flow out of the data from the system. Then data store symbol represent a logical files. The two parallel lines that represent the logical file. A logical file can be a data structure or a physical file on a disk. Means it may be any data structure which can store the data. The storing of data can be represented through the two parallel lines. Each data store is connected to a process by means of data flow symbol. Means from a process with a data flow symbol we can attach to the data store. Okay, data from the process can store in the data store symbol. Okay. So this is an example, direction of data flow arrow. So whether the data is being read from or written into it, means in this example we can view that the book from a book file, it goes the data into the find book. Okay, an arrow into or out of a data store implicitly represent the entire data of the data store. arrow connecting to a data store need not to be annotated with any data name. Means when the arrow is connected to a data store, we need not to be annotated with any data name. Okay, we can use it for data in or data out from the data store. This symbol is used for output from the process. This is the output symbol. Then next is synchronous operation. If two bubbles are directly connected by a data flow arrow, they are synchronous. Means if two bubbles are directly connected through a data flow, that is known as synchronous operation. Okay, like in this case, in this example, read number, then from the read number it goes to directly goes to the validate number, means to check the number. Means from a read number process the data are directly goes to the validate number process. So when the two functions are directly connected through the data flow arrow, that are known as synchronous operation. Then asynchronous operation. If two bubbles are connected via a data store, they are not synchronous or that are known as asynchronous. Means in this example, the two data the process are connected through data store. So it is known as asynchronous. In this case, read numbers, the data is goes to the data store number, and from the store number the data is go to the validate number. Means in between the two process there is a data store, that is called data number. Okay, so it is a asynchronous operation. Then how to develop a DFT? Initially represent the software at the most abstract level called the context diagram. Means first of all, to represent the most abstract level of a software, that is known as context diagram. The entire system is represented as a single bubble. Means the entire system can be represented through a single process. Okay, through a single bubble, and that is known as context diagram. This bubble is labeled according to the main function of the system. Means this bubble name is the main function of the system. So this is the example of context diagram of tic-tac-toe software. Means if tic-tac-toe, that is a gaming software, then the context diagram means the first diagram, the abstract diagram of the software is from tic-tac-toe, the human player move. Okay, here in this case the player uses the throw the move and it gives the output. Okay, it gives the output. So this is the context diagram of a tic-tac-toe software. A context diagram shows data input to the system and output data generated by the system. Means what is the main objective of that system, what is the main data input to the system, and what is the output of the system and the external entity. This is the context diagram. Context diagram uses these things. Context diagram captures various entities external to the system and interchange with it. Data flow occurring between the system and the external entity. The context diagram is also called as the level 0 DFT. Means it is the first level of the DFT and it contains the external entity and the process, the main process and the main external entity, and the data flow occurring between the system and the external entity. Okay, this much is in the context diagram, and the context diagram is known as level 0 diagram. Then level 1 DFT. Examine the SRS document. Represent each high level function as a bubble. Represent data input to every high level function. Represent data output from every high level function. Means in level 1 diagram, it represents all the function that are written in the SRS document, and each function, what are they needed, what are the data needed to the function, what are the input data and what will be the output of that function is represent in level 1 DFT. Okay. Higher level DFT. Each high level function is separately decomposed into subfunctions. Means from the level 1 diagram, each function again decomposed into different subfunction. Identify the subfunction of the function, identify the data input to each subfunction, and identify the data output from each subfunction. These are represented as DFT. Means in next level of DFT, each function is subdivided into subfunctions and identify all the data entry to the subfunctions and what are the data output from the subfunction. These are the higher level of DFT. Decomposition. Decomposition of a bubble is also called factoring or exploding. Means how can we decompose a function to subfunctions? That is known as decomposition. Each bubble is decomposed to between 3 and 7 bubbles. Means to a function we can decompose into 3 to 7 subfunctions. Okay. Decompose how long? Decomposition of a bubble should be carried on until a level at which the function of the bubble can be described using a simple algorithm. Means the function is divided into subfunction, again the subfunction will divide it into subfunction until it becomes simple. We can use a simple algorithm to describe it. From function to subfunction, subfunction to subfunction, we decompose till we can describe using simple algorithm. Then data dictionary. A DFT always accompanied by a data dictionary. A data dictionary lists all data items appearing in a DFT. Definition of all composite data item in terms of their component data item. All data names along with the purpose of the data item. Means all DFT comes with a data dictionary. Okay. Means it have a explanation about the data. All the composite data item and how what are the uses of that data item, they are explained in the data dictionary. For example, a data dictionary entry may be gross pay equal to regular pay plus overtime. Means gross pay is used to represent regular pay plus overtime. So data dictionary is the explanation of that DFT. Importance of data dictionary. Means why we should use data dictionary. Provide all engineers in a project with standard terminology for all data. A consistent vocabulary for data is very important. Different engineers tend to use different terms to refer to the same data, causes unnecessary confusion. Means data dictionary can explain the name of the data. There are many engineers who work in the software, so then they will be easy to use the data, they will not confuse. Okay, or they can use different name to represent same data. So data dictionary is useful for the engineers who work in the same project. They can consistent and in each data. Okay. Then balancing a DFD. Data flowing into or out of a bubble must match the data flows at the next level of DFD. This is known as balancing a DFD. Balancing a DFD means if in higher level DFD the data is inputting some data and outputting some data that is same in the next level of DFD. In the level 1 of the DFD, data item C flow to the bubble P3. Means this is an example. If C is flow into bubble P3 and the data item D and E flow out, means data item in is C and data item out is D and E. In next level, the bubble P3 is decomposed. The decomposition is balanced as data item C flow into the level 2 diagram and D and E is flow out. Means in each decomposition the input data and output data must be same. This is known as balancing a DFD. So this is the example of balancing a DFD. So in level 1, here B is the inputting and C is the output. Okay, C is the output. Okay, so in here also C is input and D is always output. Here D is output, C is input and D is always output. D and E are output. So in each label the input and output are same for the same process. Okay, this is known as balancing a DFD. Numbering of bubbles. Number of bubbles in a DFD. Numbers help in uniquely identifying any bubble from its bubble number. The bubble at context level assign number 0. Means numbering, from the numbering we can uniquely identify each process. At the context means at level 0 the numbering of the bubble is 0. Bubbles at level 1 number as 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. When a bubble number x is decomposed, its children bubble are numbered as x.1, x.2, etc. Okay, so this is all about the basic idea of DFD, and in the next class I will explain through an example how can you draw a DFD for a system, for a software. Thank you.